Hello there everybody, and welcome back to Tree of Tranquility. It is the day of the flea market, and we might want to go and swing by just to get a brief overview again of what some of the shops are selling. It's all going to be the same stuff that was being sold in spring. But most importantly, what I wanted to do today is I wanted to go down to the bottom of the mine. I've been storing some mushrooms in my toolbox. As you can see, I've brought those out just in case I need them for some additional energy. Now this is something I talked about quite early on. I had mentioned that there is a power berry down on the 30th floor, and it's not going to be too big of a feat for us, I don't think. I don't think it's going to take us all day or anything like that, but I'm just going to kind of leave that as the task of the day. With better tools and with how much mining I've been doing, I have a lot of sort of strategy involved with getting down as far as I can, as quickly as I can. And it's honestly just something I completely forgot all about. We've been doing so much with the rainbows, and we've been so focused on other things that I totally forgot that we haven't even bothered to get that power berry yet. And that might be beneficial to the stamina levels, and it will help us even further. So that is what we are going to do today. The flea market doesn't close until 5. It's open from 9 to 5. So I'm hoping that we can get down there really quick and then go to the flea market later on in the afternoon. But it's all going to depend on the randomization of the mine, I suppose. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Normally I would just completely ignore the pitfalls and I would try to go to find the staircase if possible. But a lot of the time, like in that instance there, I didn't let the camera pan, and so I wasn't actually able to see that there was a pitfall in the way. So this may seem a bit slower, going one floor at a time, but you also don't run the risk of being thwarted by a pitfall that is going to send you up with a steam geyser if you just do it this way. If you just find the staircase, you're guaranteed to always go down and you'll never lose any progress. So usually what I do when I'm making my way down, if I want to do it as quickly as I possibly can, what I do first is I walk around the floor and I try to see if the staircase is in plain sight. A lot of the time it is, which is a good thing. Most of the time you don't have to dig around for it. You can just go straight down with no issues. But if the staircase isn't in plain view, then obviously I go forth to try and find it. And I think this is something that a lot of people struggle with. As you can see there, I'm kind of running around in a hurry. I could have easily avoided that if I was just a little bit more careful. But as I was saying, I think a lot of people struggle with trying to find the staircase, and once we hit a floor where we have to dig out the staircase, I'm going to share some tips with you guys to show you how easy it is to find the staircase when you're not sure where it is. So this floor here looks like we're going to have to find it. And the best way to find a staircase is to look for a rock that's all by itself. You can see that this rock here is all by itself, and there's the staircase. You're never going to find a staircase in a group of rocks that are bundled together or touching. You're never going to find a staircase near a rock that is near a crack in the floor. You're never going to find a staircase in a rock that is near a mushroom or a toadstool or anything like that. They're always going to be lone rocks, and you're also never going to find a staircase near a rock that is against a wall. So basically, that makes it really, really easy to single out which rocks it is that you should be looking for. And as you can see here, we're already on floor 16, so we're halfway down. And I haven't even had to use any of my mushrooms yet. I have my mighty silver hammer here. So yes, it does take a little bit of time to scout out the staircase. But again, I do think this is still quicker than depending on falling down a pitfall and risking getting hit with a steam geyser. You can see there I just went up 3 floors. And again, this is just because I'm sort of in a rush and I should really just be taking my time here. I really struggle personally with the floors that are dark. The floors that are really dark you can't see, and the whole floor is literally lined with cracks. So you have to be really, really careful where you step. These floors here, to me, are the hardest. I also find your character's walk speed to be really, really quick, which is another problem. I find it really easy to just run straight head on into a crack in the floor or something like that. So these floors here definitely slow me down. But I think these are only every once in a while, and I think they're only on floors that end in 7. So they're only going to be floor 7, 17, and 27. Floor 19 is always going to be the mushroom floor. And then floors 10 and 20 are going to be those in-between screens with the murals on the wall. So you also learn as you do this that there are certain areas that are predictable and will always be the same. So floor 20, like I said, this will always be laid out like this. This is kind of a nice break floor. You can take a break. You can decide if you want to go further down or if you want to go back up. You can eat stuff and get your stamina up if you want to. I'm getting a little worried looking at the clock here. We might not make it to the flea market. Maybe I should have done that first. But there's no going back now. I'm not going back up until I'm done. No way, Jose. And you can see, too, once you get further down, the floors get bigger and bigger. And so it might take you a little bit longer to find the stairs, but not always. Floor 24, so we're almost down to the bottom. And if you are wanting to make some money off of mining, this floor here that we're about to hit, floor 25, is absolutely hands down the best floor. This floor is going to be riddled in all of these stones. And so this is a really good way to get all those nice sparkly gems that Myra can refine, and you can get really, really high quality and expensive stuff to sell. Of course, you also have to be careful about the gases, and that's another thing that I find with just trying to find the staircase, is that it minimizes the amount of progress that's going to be blocked by gases and stuff like that as well. You have to worry a lot less about those kinds of things. So you can see we're on 27 now, so this is going to be another tunnel vision sort of dark floor, but the next couple floors should be pretty easy for us. And if I hadn't hit those couple of steam geysers, I think we would have been down at the bottom by now and making our way down to the flea market. But I think we're gonna miss it today. Time really does fly when you're mining, which is why it's so much better to upgrade your hammer and stuff like that, and really take the effort and the time to do that, because you will spend a lot of time down here. It's a really great way to make money. It's going to take you a little bit of time, a little bit of energy to go down to the bottom of the mine like I'm doing. And here we are. So you have a little bit of a lake here at the bottom of the mine. You can do some fishing, but from what I recall, there's nothing in here that's particularly special that you can catch, or that you need for the storyline. And in the upper right-hand corner there, that sparkling item on the ground is the power berry. which will give you a permanent stamina increase. And it also gave me all of my stamina back as well. So that is wonderful. Seeing as how we're not able to go to the flea market now, and the flea market has ended, it ended at 5 o'clock, I guess what I can do now that I have all of the stamina is I can maybe go back up a couple of floors and I can pick up some gems and I can get those refined. Unfortunately, Myra is closed tomorrow on Mondays, so if I do decide to do this mining, I am going to have to carry around this stuff for the next couple of days or store it away, or whatever the case may be. But while I'm here, we might as well. And don't forget too, when you get down to these lower floors, make sure that you are hitting regular rocks as well, because that's going to be the best way to find the rest of the ores that you need for upgrading of your tools. Now obviously I'm having some really terrible luck here. I can't see. I hit some confusion gas, and normally when that happens, what I will do is I will just find the nearest staircase, and I will either go up or down a floor and then return to the floor I was just on. But you can see down here there's a lot more of these ore rocks, and you have a lot higher of a chance of finding stuff as well. On the upper floors, the chance of actually getting a sparkly rock is very, very low. And I am just loving these gases today. I just walked right into that paralysis gas willingly, didn't I? That was silly of me. So my advice, I guess, that I can give you is if you want to make a lot of money off of mining, try your very best to get your hammer upgraded as quick as you can. I think that's going to be one of your most beneficial upgrades. And then book it down to about 425 before you really start to use up the majority of your stamina. Again, it does take a while. It can seem like it's taking too long, but trust me when I say that it's definitely worth it in the end. I'm gonna load up my rucksack, and then there's one more sort of little tidbit I'm gonna tell you guys about before we end this episode off. I mean, we've spent so much time already, and it's just been in mining. It's crazy how fast time flies. So it'll probably be a little longer episode today just because this is quite time consuming. But this is usually what I do when I'm not recording for you guys, when I'm spending all that time off screen just passing the time. This is usually what I'm doing. I'm spending a lot of my time on this floor, mining and trying to get as many rocks as I can and making a really good profit off of that. Really got to be careful about the gases though. The gases get really, really nuts when you start hitting all of these rocks. So it's a good idea to be mindful of your stamina, because if you get hit by red gas and your stamina is low, it can actually make you pass out, which you don't want, because you'll be taken to the clinic and you'll have wasted the rest of your day. And you won't be able to go home and finish any other chores that you left unfinished before you left for the mine. And I tend to get very unlucky, and I always get hit with a lot of the red gases, a lot of the blue gases, a lot of the paralysis gases, all of those nice, lovely things. So we're full up, and we still have a ton of stamina. I took care of all my chores beforehand, so that's okay. And I'm just going to sell these. I've been kind of stockpiling them, but I don't think I need them. I think now with the silver hammer and what mushrooms I find when I go mining, I think I'll be alright. And the last thing I kind of want to show you guys is I want to show you how you can sort of tell what something is going to be worth before you even get it refined by Myra. You can see here that all of these wonderfuls have different amounts of sparkles. All three of the purples have one sparkle. I have one white with 1 sparkle and I have one with 2. Basically what that means is that this wonderful that I have here with 1 sparkle is going to be refined for a gem that's going to be worth less money than the one with 2 sparkles. And my green stone I have here on the right has 3 sparkles, which means that this is going to be refined into the most expensive gem. Each stone has 3 levels. So a White Wonderful has a moonlight stone on the bottom. It has a crystal as the 2nd level, and then the 3rd level is going to be your diamond. So I know when I bring those to Myra, I'm going to get 1 moonlight stone, and I'm going to get 1 crystal out of that. So that's just sort of a neat little trick, and a really good way to tell how much money it is that you can sort of plan on making. Now let's go back to my house here. So obviously we didn't get to go to the flea market today, guys. I should have done some better planning. I should have gone to the flea market first and went to the mine later. But it's not that big of a deal because, like I said, all of the stores are going to be selling the same stuff that they sold last month. And to my knowledge, there were no new stores because we still have not had any new villagers come into town. We bought everything that we needed for our rainbows the last flea market. But just as a reminder, if you guys didn't buy an apple or a plain omelet from Simon during the spring season, you'll want to do that during this flea market so that you can use those as your rainbow recipe pieces if that's what you want to do. And you'll also want to buy a baked yam and Austinese from Maya if that's what you want to do. Now we're going to be going into fall, and we are actually, I think, able to get an apple, and we are able to get a baked yam in fall, but the Austinese is something that I would definitely recommend buying. That's something you're going to want to have because it's a pain in the butt to get otherwise. And the plain omelet you could probably make yourself, but again, it requires a little bit more preparation than if you were to just buy it on your own. So here we are, let's go back to the calendar. I guess I'm going to have to play tomorrow on my own, and then I'll be back to see you guys on Tuesday for the Flyerfi festival. This is a nighttime festival, which we haven't seen in a little while, so that should be nice. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our little trek into the mines. Thank you so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.